In the heart of the 18th century, a spark ignited a fire that would change the world forever. This was a time of great upheaval and transformation, where the seeds of revolution were sown in the fertile ground of discontent. This was not a fire of destruction but one of revolution, of courage, of the relentless pursuit of liberty. It was a beacon of hope for those who yearned for a life free from oppression and tyranny. The American colonies, once content under British rule, rose in defiance, their voices echoing across the Atlantic, a testament to the human spirit's yearning for freedom. They were no longer willing to accept the chains of subjugation. The year was 1776, a year that would be etched in history as the birth of a new nation, a nation founded on the principles of liberty and justice. A small group of colonies dared to challenge the mighty British Empire, an empire that spanned the globe. They stood against a force that seemed insurmountable, driven by an unyielding desire for independence. They were farmers, shopkeepers, thinkers, and dreamers, united by a common desire for self-determination. These ordinary individuals became extraordinary through their collective resolve and bravery. Their fight was not just for themselves but for generations to come. They envisioned a future where their descendants could live in freedom and prosperity. The American Revolution was not merely a war for independence, it was a crucible where the ideals of liberty and self-governance were forged. It was a defining moment that shaped the course of history. It was a testament to the power of unity, the courage of ordinary men and women who stood against tyranny, and the enduring belief in the power of the human spirit to overcome even the most formidable obstacles. Their legacy lives on, inspiring future generations to cherish and protect the freedoms they fought so valiantly to secure. The road to revolution was paved with years of growing discontent. The colonists, accustomed to a degree of self-governance, chafed under increasingly restrictive British policies. The seeds of rebellion were sown in the hearts of the colonists, watered by resentment and a yearning for autonomy. The British government, burdened by debt from the French and Indian War, sought to tighten its control over the colonies and extract much-needed revenue. A series of acts, each one a nail in the coffin of colonial tolerance, were passed by Parliament, each met with increasing resistance in the New World. The Stamp Act, the Townshend Acts, the Tea Act, each new law served only to further alienate the colonists. What began as murmurs of dissent grew into a chorus of outrage, a unified cry for liberty that echoed from the bustling port of Boston to the small farms on the western frontier. No taxation without representation. This rallying cry resonated through the colonies, encapsulating the core of the colonists' grievances and their growing frustration with British rule. The colonists, unrepresented in the British Parliament, found themselves subjected to a series of taxes and duties they deemed unjust and oppressive. The Boston Tea Party, a daring act of defiance in 1773, became a pivotal moment in the escalating tensions between the colonies and Britain. Colonists, disguised as Native Americans, boarded British ships and dumped chests of tea into the harbor, sending shockwaves across the Atlantic and igniting further unrest. This act of defiance was not about the tea itself, but about the principle it represented: the right to self-governance and resistance against unjust laws imposed by a distant government. The British response was swift and harsh, further fueling the flames of rebellion and pushing the colonies closer to open conflict. The Intolerable Acts, as they were known, were designed to punish the colonists for their defiance and to reassert British control. Instead, they served only to solidify colonial resolve and unity, as the colonies banded together in opposition. The die was cast. The path to armed conflict seemed all but inevitable, as the colonies prepared for the struggle ahead. Section 4. A declaration heard around the world, independence declared. On July 4, 1776, the Continental Congress, gathered in Philadelphia, took a momentous step that would forever alter the course of history. This day marked the birth of a new nation, one founded on the principles of freedom and equality. They declared their independence from Great Britain, severing the ties that had bound them for over a century. This bold move was not just a political maneuver but a profound statement of intent and vision for the future. The Declaration of Independence, penned by Thomas Jefferson, was a powerful indictment of British tyranny and a bold assertion of the right to self-government. Jefferson's eloquent words captured the spirit of the age and the aspirations of the American people. "We hold these truths to be self-evident," it proclaimed, "that all men are created equal, a revolutionary idea that challenged the established order and inspired countless others, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, rights that no government can take away, rights that are intrinsic to the human condition, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These words laid the foundation for a new society, one where individual freedoms were paramount. These words, echoing through the halls of history, would inspire generations to fight for freedom and equality. They became a rallying cry for those seeking justice and a better world. The Declaration was not just a document, it was a beacon of hope, a symbol of the enduring human spirit and the quest for liberty, a testament to the belief that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. This principle would become a cornerstone of democratic governance worldwide. It was a message heard around the world, a clarion call for liberty that resonated far beyond the shores of the newly independent nation. The Declaration of Independence continues to inspire and challenge us to uphold its ideals. Section 5. The Fight for Freedom, Early Battles and Hardships. The signing of the Declaration of Independence marked the beginning of a long and arduous struggle for freedom. The fledgling nation, outmatched and outgunned, faced the daunting task of confronting the might of the British Empire. The early years of the war were marked by hardship and defeat. The Continental Army, poorly equipped and lacking experience, faced a formidable foe in the British Redcoats. Defeats at the battles of Long Island and Brandywine tested the resolve of the Continental Army, their spirit seemingly unbroken despite the mounting losses. The winter of 1777 to 1778 was particularly brutal. At Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, Washington's army endured unimaginable suffering. Shortages of food, clothing, and medicine were rampant and morale plummeted. Yet, through it all, the spirit of defiance remained, fueled by the hope of a better future, a nation free from tyranny. Section 6. Washington's Leadership, a General's Resolve. Throughout the dark days of the Revolution, one figure stood tall, a beacon of strength and determination: George Washington. More than just a military commander, Washington was a leader of men, inspiring hope and confidence in the face of adversity.
Washington, a man of unwavering integrity and resolve, held the Continental Army together through sheer force of will. He understood that the fight for independence was not just about winning battles, but about winning hearts and minds.
His leadership extended beyond the battlefield. He navigated the complexities of colonial politics, secured foreign alliances, and kept the flame of revolution burning bright. His strategic brilliance was evident in key victories at Trenton and Saratoga, turning the tide of the war and proving that the American spirit could not be broken.